Hey guys, what's up? So there's like 2 people who requested this, but I'm gonna film a makeup tutorial anyway. I got my wine. Let's rock. So the thing that most people ask me about is eye makeup, eyeshadow, eyeliner, how I get the winged eyeliner to look the way that I do. And the secret is really easy. It's Scotch tape. So I just keep a roll of Scotch tape in my makeup bag. I take 2 pieces, maybe 2 inches long. I put them on my hand to get some of the stickiness off so that it's not gonna pull my skin too badly. And I just use it like a shadow guard, just like that. So you can buy like from Sephora or Ulta, I think they're just called shadow guard. It's something that's just a little bit more expensive and I don't think you need to spend the money on it. So we're gonna start with primer. I just use concealer as a primer. I have gotta do my beauty YouTuber hands. It's the Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer. I don't even know if this is the right shade. It's the lightest one that they have. So I'm just gonna put a dot on each lid and then go in with a beauty blender and just kind of blend it. Beauteous. Okay, now I'm gonna get started with shadow. I'm using the Kylie Jenner Bronze palette. I'm gonna use the shades Jasper, this top corner, Citrine, Tiger Eye, and Hematite. So I'm gonna start with Jasper, and I'm using just any big fluffy brush. I'm gonna go all over the lid lightly, but concentrate right under the brow. And then also concentrate in your inner corner. Wine break. Now I'm gonna take this brush. I don't even know what you'd call this, just a regular shadow brush. I'm gonna dab on Citrine. It looks a lot more orange right now than it's gonna look in the end, so just trust me. And I'm gonna gently put this on the middle, like third of the brow, kind of going out to the edge, but not that outer corner. It does not need to be perfectly blended right now. I'm just trying to get the product on, and then I will blend later. Now I'm going to take this angled brush and I'm gonna get that Tiger Eye color here and put that on the outer corner. And then I'm gonna get a little bit of the Hematite and go over again on the outer corner. And the great thing about the tape is that you can get as messy as you need to here. Okay, cool. Let's do the other side. Final step for the bronze colors, I'm gonna get a big fluffy brush, different than the white one that I used earlier, and hold it at the base of the brush so that you're not using too much pressure, and just windshield wiper all over to blend this all out. That looks all right. I'm now going to kind of move on to eyeliner while still using shadow. So before I put the liquid liner on, I will put on some black eyeshadow as kind of a liner because I find that the powder under the liquid sets it better. So I'm gonna use this corner shadow. It's called Obsidian, and I'm using this angled brush, super tiny, so you can get specific. So I'm gonna dab that in Obsidian. And this is the other great thing about using the tape, is that you can just kind of draw up like this. And I'm clearly making a mess on the tape, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna take the tape off. So I do that. And then, ta-da, you can see where the tape was, but look at how clean that is. And we didn't even clean it up yet. The tape is the key to everything. Let's do the other side. All right, so now that I took the tape off, I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. So I'm gonna move on to tracing over the shadow liner with the liquid liner. So I just have this inexpensive one. It's by L'Oreal. It's called Flash Cat Eye by Lash Cat Eye by Infallible in the shade black. This is cool because it has this little plastic device that if you wanted to avoid using tape, if you've got really sensitive skin or something like that, you can kind of use this as a tool. I like the tape better. I think the key with liquid is to just start by making little lines and then just kind of connect it at the end. That looks all right. All right, this side looks wonky, but I'm just gonna get a makeup wipe and I'll kind of just sharpen it up. Cool. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. That's the other thing too. No one's eyes, unless you have some kind of procedure done, are exactly the same shape or the same kind of height. So don't beat yourself up if your eyeliner is not perfect. It's just not worth it. I'm gonna save mascara for the end because I do set my face with powder and it'll get stuck in my mascara. So we'll come back to the mascara. I'm now gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I think this is a cult classic. So first I brush up. So the key here is to just do little strokes. Sometimes I'll kind of go along the bottom first and then do little strokes up from there. And then you want to make sure you brush through and just kind of smear it to make it look as natural as possible. It's obviously not natural, but again, don't beat yourself up because no one's eyebrows are exactly the same. They should be sisters, not twins. Lovely. Okay, let's jump over to, I guess I'd call this foundation, but it's not. I use the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. I love this because it's pretty lightweight, but it also has SPF 50, protects you from UVA and UVB rays. I haven't gotten into it yet on the blog, but I have really gotten into sun protection and skin cancer prevention over the last 6 months or so. I'll get into that another day, but wear your sunscreen. I'm using a beauty blender too to apply it. I just kind of took for granted everyone would know what this is. Any kind of sponge works, but the technique that I think is really important is to wet it before you use it. So I wet this and then kind of wring it out and use a paper towel or tissues to kind of like pat it to just slightly damp. You don't want it to be dry because that's what's gonna help give you that kind of airbrushed, more natural effect. And make sure too, I'm not always the best, but I spray tan or self tan and I'm not always matching perfectly, but make sure you take it down your neck so that you don't have that line that kind of just goes around here because it's very, very noticeable. Let's go back to concealer. I'm grabbing this Huda Beauty one again. I do like to apply concealer with my fingers and then I'll blend it out with the Beauty Blender. Don't use your pointer finger because it's too strong. You're gonna create lines on your face. but take that with a grain of salt because I'm also the girl telling you to put Scotch tape on your face. I'm gonna kind of put it underneath here, going for that raccoon aesthetic. I also have a skin condition that makes my eyebrows red, so I'll sometimes also add it at the top here. Cool. And then I obviously look ridiculous, so let's blend this out with the Beauty Blender. I'm now going to set the base products with powder. I like using this one. It's by the brand Lawless. It's called Seal the Deal, and I get the classic translucent. So I have a big fluffy brush. I'm gonna pour a little bit into the lid, just dab, and then I'll just go in circular motions around my face. And you particularly want to set your T-zone where you're gonna sweat the most, so going down the middle and then up here. And then sometimes after I do that, I'll kind of like hit my eyebrows, so I might go back and brush them up. Cool. I am now going to grab, let's start with bronzer. This is the NARS Laguna. It's another cult classic. You can tell it's well loved. So I use like just an angled bronzer brush, dab it in. There we go. I might not use this much bronzer in the winter months, but I might. You just never know. I really get too carried away with makeup year-round. Just the kind of person that would roll into the office with a full smoky eye on a Tuesday morning, just ready to rock. Some people put it down here. I don't. Like a 3 shape, I think is what a lot of people say. Cool. Now I'm gonna use NARS Orgasm, another cult classic, for blush. So I have this just Sephora airbrush blush brush. I'm gonna use that. Cool. And if you ever think that you've used a little too much, you need to tone it down a little bit, just go back in and dab with the Beauty Blender and it'll help it kind of mesh with your face product that you already put on. And then last step for face, I'm gonna use the Becca Champagne Pop bronzer, or not bronzer, highlighter. I put it on my cheekbones. Look at that. On my nose. Sometimes I'll put it on like the Cupid's bow. Sometimes that just looks like you're sweating. That's face. Let's go back in now and do mascara. So I have tried every kind of mascara that exists. Truly, I feel like I've tried everything from like Givenchy to Marc Jacobs, like the most expensive, and I just never, I'll get into an expensive mascara for a while, but I always end up just going back to a drugstore brand. It's all the same, really. This is the L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Original. Kim Kardashian's makeup artist Mario uses this, so if it's good enough for Mario, it's good enough for me. I do kind of try to put it at the base and like wiggle a little bit. I do use just an old-fashioned eyelash curler. Try not to pinch yourself. Also, I just thought I'd point out, I don't do any eyeliner on the bottom. I've got so much going on up here, I just don't touch the bottom aside from mascara. Great. And then I got a little bit, you probably can't even tell on camera, but if you ever get mascara on top of your eyeshadow, don't panic and don't touch it immediately. Give it a little bit, let it dry, and then just go back over it with your shadow and it'll come right off. That's the key, is don't try to grab it while it's still wet. Let it dry and then it'll flake off a lot easier. And finally, I'll use my lip product. This is NARS Power Matte Lip Pigment in the shade American Woman. So I'm just gonna put it on the bottom. Okay, great. Well, that's pretty much it. Take the hair down to get a thumbnail. This is my most frequent makeup look. If you have any questions, I'll link and list all the products down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comments, and thank you for watching.